people making the laws are smart people.
On Friday, Stacey Ritter, who is the president and CEO of Visit Fort Lauderdale, said that the Broward County Cricket Stadium is the greatest cricket stadium in the United States of America. On Saturday at Lauderhill, with temperatures soaring to 96 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity approaching 70%, Rovman Powell, the West Indies captain, won the toss in the 4th T20 International against India and decided to bat first. The West Indies made their highest total so far in the series, but India chased it down, only losing 1 wicket with 18 deliveries to spare. That means West Indies were probably 30 to 40 runs short, or maybe even 50. It is difficult to smile at this time. My heart is heavy and I'm very frustrated. But deep down within my soul, I believe that we're going to win tomorrow and victory will be sweeter. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me and my co-host for a review of the match today. I have with me Andre Douglas, who was with us earlier, and also the man who loves cricket the most, except for those of us who in this community, Dago. Dago, what's your surname, Dago?
Ogilvy.
Dago Ogilvy. I'm sorry, my apology. So we have with us Dago Ogilvy and Andre Douglas, who was with us earlier. As the elder statesman, because Dago was telling me about cricket from 1968. He was watching Cowdrey and not padding away the West Indies off spinner landscape. So I'm going to ask Dago to go first at this moment. Dago, welcome to the show, sir. Your turn.
Yeah, man. Well, basically, I'm just glad to be here. Cricket, love the cricket. I've always told people, and this is just Dago opinion now. Dago opinion based on his parameters and his experience. It's the greatest sport in the world. It's the only sport that I have studied at the university and listened to cricket and passed my exam. I have jumped up on the mound at Sabina and party stand in Trinidad and Jamaica. I have listened to it on the radio as a little boy and enjoy it for nights. And it's the only sport that you can be in the bedroom and make love and doesn't change your performance when you're listening to cricket in the bedroom. That's how great cricket is. And it's 5 hours and you still want more. All the other great sports, after 3 hours, you want to move on. That's what makes cricket great for me. But what I was pleased with today, even though we lost, is Hetmeyer. Because to me, Hetmeyer, I don't understand why he was ever left out of any West Indies team, especially the white ball version. The man won the World Cup as a captain. He's a must pick. The only way he doesn't play if he's not available. I've always said, growing up in America and coming to America as a teenager, I followed professional sports, Carlton. By the way, that's my brother named Carlton.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the one who taught me everything, a bigger brother. You got to play your best. It's about making money, professional sports. The only way you don't play your best is unless the person is sick or not available. So I've never understood some of these selection process to leaving out Hetmeyer. But I'm glad he performed now, and then it can't be an issue now whether he plays or not, especially white ball.
Thank you, Dago. Just before I come to you, Andre, I just want to read one comment from Lyndon Scott. Instead of casting blame, we have to get a complete overhaul of our entire system. And that takes time and work from the school right up. We must be able to be truthful about the state of our cricket. We are truthful about it, Lyndon Scott. We know we are a weak team. We are not casting any blame. And I share your view that we have to do it from the school up. And you must have heard I've said many times on this program that come September, I'm asking everyone to spend at least one day every 2 months in a basic school introducing cricket to these basic school children. I have said that many, many times, Lyndon Scott. Whether you believe it or not, at some time in our life, cricket was introduced to us. We just didn't get up and love cricket so. We may not know when it was introduced to us or who introduced it to us, but it was introduced to us and we start loving it. So I'm saying, starting September, one day every 2 months, just go to the basic school that you probably have a grandniece going or a niece or a daughter, whatsoever. You probably have someone close to you attending that basic school. Go to that basic school one day every 2 months and introduce cricket to those little boys and girls. So maybe we need to start there. Over to you, Andre. What's your take on what happened today?
Well, yeah, good afternoon to my fellow co-hosts and to the viewers. Well, for today's match, I thought that firstly the score that we got wasn't competitive enough. I thought we're probably 20, 30 runs short. That's the first thing, right? Secondly, I think that the batting is our best discipline in terms of batting and bowling. So what could have happened is that after winning the toss, I thought we should have batted last because that is our stronger suit. So I thought that when Rovman Paul won the toss, we should have batted second, being that it is our stronger suit. And we have chased well in the past, and I thought that but having said that, I thought a lot of our batsmen gave away their wickets. The likes of Pooran, the likes of Shepherd, they didn't take time to get themselves settled so that we could have had a more competitive total. They should have assessed the pitch a bit more, seeing that it was really batting friendly, and we were probably 30 to 40 runs short. So in that aspect, I do believe that 178 was never going to be enough against a very, very good India batting lineup.
Coming to you, Diego, I would like you to respond to what Andre said, but I'm just going to run through a few comments here, and you can even comment on these comments also. The champion is saying that our bowling plan is terrible. And Sheldon Smith from Trinidad is saying, I still maintain if we had given Pollard and Simmons time, we would have had a winning side by now. Instead, we continue to shoot in the dark. That said, we have no choice but to rally. What do you think about that, Diego, and also react to what Andre just said? What do you think about that statement from Sheldon?
Well, for Sheldon, and Sheldon reminds me of a lot of the talkers. The talkers who are talking and don't understand the practicality of cricket. No, I want to give Sheldon the 6 batsman and he can respond. You've got Myers, Brandon King. Tell me where I missed out. Then you've got Pooran, you've got Hope, and you've got Hetmeyer and Rovman Powell. Tell me which other 6 batsmen you want to bring in the West Indies. This is what you have. They're not going to perform in any sport. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, they're not going to perform at a certain level all the time. So what is he talking about? I understand when they say they need to, what is Pollard and Simmons going to do different? All they can do different is select some different players. So who does he want to play? Mackenzie or Tanze? Well, I don't understand his argument. The argument is you play a game, you lose. And you're losing to India, which is, what are they, number 1 or number 200 in the world?
Number 1.
Yeah, number 1 ranked team.
So you come back for tomorrow and try to do better. The only argument you can have, because once you go out there, Carlton and Andre, the NBA players, they all go there. All they can do is play the game. We as fans' argument can only be, are they selecting the right players? And again, go back to the first thing you mentioned, Carlton, which I disagree with now. But not as I disagree with, but you're giving the West Indies Cricket Board a break when you say people should go to basic school. The West Indies Cricket Board should do what baseball does. Just sponsor all primary leagues, primary school cricket. That's all they have to do. It shouldn't be private people going in and have to go brand niece. The cricket board, once you have primary school competition in all over the Caribbean, you'll get players. Now, how can you in Jamaica, and I mean, there's no primary school cricket now. That can't make sense. So I think you're bypassing the West Indies cricket board. They're the ones who make the money. They're the ones who benefit from these tours and make millions. They got to put back into the primary school. That's what I would say to that.
Okay, just before I come to you, Kirk Ahmed, just before I come to you, Andre, Bobby Bonds out of Fort Lauderdale is agreeing with you that West Indies should have bowled first. And Merrick is saying, what's with Powell also batting first? So Merrick is also saying, an area of Kenroy Simit, I have no more faith in our batsmen than our bowlers. So once I win the toss, I will always bowl first. What do you say? What do you say about having faith in the batsmen and the bowlers? Diego, because Andre already said that he has more faith in the batsmen more than the bowlers. What do you say, Diego?
Carlton, I'm glad you brought me on because I'm hearing a lot of dreamers here, you know, like John Lennon, dreaming about one world and we wish there was no country to fight for, no religion. You live in a real world. Who batting first, second? That's like being a Monday morning quarterback. It's a 20. Michael Holding told me, you know, in 20 over cricket, it doesn't matter. It's 20 overs. It's not test cricket. You got to make more runs than the team. In 20 over cricket, limited over cricket, your job is to make more runs. Not even about wickets now. So how does batting first would have changed? What cricket logic is he giving me to say that batting first would have made us one? You just being a Monday morning quarterback, as they say it in America.
What you say, Andre? Diego is saying that it doesn't matter.
No. I disagree somewhat, Diego, in that sense. You know, why I say that is that when we have a pitch which, you know,
that is
offers a lot.
You have to separate test, Andre.
No, yeah, yes, yeah.
Listen to me.
No, let me just finish, Diego. Let me just finish right here.
In 4 overs, and who makes the most runs? The wicket batting first. In Test cricket, I agree with you. In Test cricket, I agree with you. But enough to separate Test cricket. That's why I'm so glad they get rid of this 50 over thing. We have to separate Test cricket to 20 over.
No,
Test cricket and 2020 is like beach soccer to real soccer. Then, in a sense.
Yes. But let me respond to you now, Diego, where that's concerned. No, batting is our strongest, is our stronger suit. No, when we have bowlers who are very, very inconsistent and you have a flat batting pitch, I think that we should chase in you know, once we have the batting condition that, you know, that will suit our batters, I think that chasing gives us a better chance. Because look at, for instance, today is a prime example. You know, we were around, as I said, 30 to 40 runs short, and our bowlers could not defend because they are so inconsistent. I think that our batters are far more consistent than the bowlers. So if we have, when our target is set, our batters, you know, knowing the target, I think that we are better. We have a better chance of winning than our bowlers, who we cannot rely on much because of their inconsistency.
Good afternoon, right? George Nolan from Nevis. Glad you are here. Gentlemen, these two comments. Shepherd and Simit should not play at the same time. And the next comment here, Merrick is saying, I don't see where the pitch would have gone any worse batting second. So Powell could have chosen to bat second. So, all right, so there is Merrick agreeing. But what about Shepherd and Simit should not play at the same time?
Well, my argument again is that I hope they can post back again. Don't post once. Come back again when we respond to you. Who would you play? And play over who? So
Judge Nolan is saying that why Joseph didn't play. Should Joseph have played or should Joseph have been rested? Just a minute. My view on Joseph, that Joseph should not have been playing one-day internationals. That is my view. So if he was not playing one-day internationals, he would have been able to play all the 5 T20. But should Joseph have been dropped?
Well, I mean, Joseph, I think, is overworked. That's the first thing in a Carlton. And I agree with you. Now, remember, we had a discussion previously where I said that I would play Azari, very strategically, because I think he's been overworked. I would have rested, being that we're not going to be involved in the ODI World Cup. I would have rested.
Andre. 1 minute, Andre. 1 minute. Diego, just look at that comment on the screen while Andre is talking, so you'll have a good understanding. That one is to you. Go ahead, Andre. Look
right.
At
I would have rested Joseph for the ODI leg of the series and play him in the T20. Because there was no value playing Joseph in the ODI leg right now, because we're not going to be represented in the ODI World Cup. So we're preparing for our T20 World Cup next year. So why not rest him for the ODI and have him fully rested and ready for the T20 series? Right? Joseph, to me right now, Joseph is our best white ball bowler currently. So, not being involved in the ODI World Cup for this year, we should have rested Joseph for the T20 series. Now we have a case where you play him in ODI series, you play him in the first 3 T20 matches, he must get a rest. And we also played him in the test series, so he deserves a rest. Right? Yeah. We cannot burn him out.
Okay. Over to you, Diego.
I totally agree with both of you. You cannot play Joseph in the ODI. You got to rest him in the ODI. He's your one true strike bowler, young. So you got to save him. And I'm so glad this 50 over thing is done until you won't have it every 4 years for World Cup. Because I agree with you with that. Now the Ed Meyer comment. Again, I don't understand these people, man. Ed Meyer doesn't select himself. In terms of talent, you have to answer me if he's a must pick. No, the current environment, you have to face the reality that these guys are not going to be available all the time. That's why you have a farm system. That's when you play the Mackenzie and the Atenays and these guys coming up. So I don't understand his argument. You want to win. You want to make money in professional sports. So if he's available, you play. If he's not available, then he's not available. That's what happens in sports. The next guy up. So,
yes, but let me just add.
Is he saying never to pick my Andre, that he should never be selected?
No, I don't think what he's saying is just that Hetmeyer has been very unprofessional. And I agree somewhat. When I look at Hetmeyer now, in comparison to 3 years ago.
Hold on, Andre.
Wait, let me just finish.
No, but you can't use fancy words. I have to get the meaning what you're saying. What do you mean by unprofessional?
I guess probably he's alluding to the fact that Hetmeyer looks probably overweight. After a few, when Hetmeyer got his 50, you see how hard he was blowing. He looks really unfit.
Okay, you have to go any further. If you're saying that he doesn't pass a fitness test, then you can't blame Hetmeyer then. You have to blame the cricket board. You can't blame Hetmeyer if he's unfit and he doesn't pass a fitness test. Because they have a fitness test. I heard Jimmy Adams come and say it. There's two requirements now. They don't even use regional numbers anymore. Is availability and passing a fitness test because of all the professional cricket. So why are we blaming Hetmeyer then then blame the selectors for selecting him?
But I think the selectors on the board have somewhat taken a back step where the fitness is concerned. Because I don't think Hetmeyer really passed that fitness test. There's no way Hetmeyer could have passed a fitness test where he cannot even.
So you want to play him today? You want to want that 61 today?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But what I think Hetmeyer needs to pay a lot more attention to his fitness. You cannot come on a cricket field and you can hardly go because you lack the fitness.
Andre, that's what professionalism is. You have to come to work on time. You don't come to work on time, the boss is going to say, okay, see you the door. If you have to have a fitness test in professional cricket, you must have a fitness test. You cannot go on any sports field if you guys ever played sports. If you're not fit, you can't perform. So you have to blame the West Indies because professional wants to get paid, Andre. NBA players wants their millions. Soccer players wants their millions. You also the soccer players training. You watching the EPL? You watching Leon? If they don't get fit, they don't get paid. So if you pay them, they are going to be fit if you give them the requirement of being fit.
So are you saying
the West Indies cricket board is who's unprofessional, not the player?
So you are saying that the West Indies Cricket Board is not paying these players enough. So if the West Indies Cricket Board was paying them enough, they would get fitter. Is that what you're saying?
No, Carter. You pay whatever you can afford. Now, if West Indies Cricket Board said, this is what I'm paying you, they still need to have a fitness requirement. If they don't, then you move on. Then I can understand moving on as the player. But you can't not have a fitness requirement. Then the players come unfit, and Andre costed the player. And the West Indies still selected him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, as a professional, it's really, this West Indies have a standard, yes, but it's really up to you. You can't be coming to work.
Let's move on to that. Let's move on to that.
Hold on, Carlton. Hold on.
Yeah.
You told me you went to work Friday when I called you, right?
Right.
Your boss rely on you to come to work on time? Or is a requirement for you to come to work on time and fulfill your duty?
No, I mean, he relies on me, yes, although it's a requirement, but it does rely on me to come to work on time.
Right. And you come on time, right?
Right.
You cannot force someone to perform in us. Carlton is trying to explain. You put a player out there, he's going to do, you want him to do his best. He's going to fail, he's going to succeed. But there's certain things, when you paint somebody, it's a requirement. You paint somebody to work, you got to come on time.
We have a comment there on the screen from Kurt Amute. Hope we can go through this one very quickly. Just a minute. Kirk Amute is saying that it's really not Shepherd and Smith to be blamed, but the senior bowlers who are not wicket takers. How do you see that, Andre? Quickly, 10 seconds and then 10 seconds for Diego.
I mean, Hussein and Holder, and in particular, they have done, fairly well throughout the series. So you can't blame if they have an off day. I could probably live with that. But Shepherd and Smith, they have been in a team for quite some time now. It is time for them to be far more consistent. They're far too inconsistent. In particular, Smith. He has been around the team for some time now. It is time now for Smith to show the sort of, he has been given chances upon chances. So it is time for him now to show to do better than what he has been doing.
Yeah, Diego, what do you have to say?
Well, I pretty much have to the same sentiment as Andre, but I would love for these guys, Kurt, to call back and tell us who does he want us to play? Who does he want us to play?
Oh, yeah, I said, who is the alternative? Who is the alternative? What about McAllister? What about Jordan? So, Pooran, all right. Now, when Pooran came to the crease, I said that Kuldeep Yadav, they're going to bowl Kuldeep Yadav, and he's going to toss it up slow outside the half stump to Pooran. So said, so done, he hit it down the man's throat at long on. Bobby Bones is saying that Pooran letting the Indians' mind games get to him. What do you think?
Well, I think that Pooran could have waited a little bit more. He could have spent, because I think it was the first ball that Kuldeep bowled to him. He hit it straight along on. So having a start, we got a pretty decent start because we had scored like 50-something runs in the power play. So he could have bided his time some more before he took on Kuldeep. So, as I said earlier, that Pooran could have played himself in some more and, build a platform and tee off at the end. Because I said the wicket was pretty flat. The platform was there. So Pooran, is just a real, inauspicious shot that he played and got himself out. And he could have done a lot better.
What do you say about that comment on the screen, Diego? From Sheldon Simmet. He's talking about you, Sheldon Simmet. Oh, sorry, I took it off. Dear Sheldon Simmet saying, yes, that Sheldon Simmet is referring to you. How do you reply to it? I don't quite know if I understand the comment, but maybe you are a bit brighter than I.
Well, one thing is making a false statement. I do not believe in development. You must develop? But that's why I said from primary school. If I say West Indies Cricket Board should sponsor primary school cricket, that's the essence of development in any sports. Go look at Major League Baseball. In the Dominican Republic.
Judge Nolan and Andre is saying that we have a series to win. So we should never have rested Joseph today because we have a series to win. How do you plead to that?
Well, as I said, I think probably Joseph is overbowled and probably a bit tired. And they were thinking that, if we could just get Smith in and, get 4 good overs from him and Smith can contribute with the bat. Right? I think probably he was played more for his batting than anything else. So I really don't have a problem with them resting Joseph for today. You know, I don't know if probably he might have a bit of a niggle or something. I don't know, right? But I'm not going to say that, oh, Joseph should have played today and Simit not play. No, I'm not going to say that at all.
Okay. SOS Music. And you would have heard Diego said that we are saying who should play, but we are not giving who should not play. So you are saying that the first thing, see there where I pick some of the wrong players. For example, why pick Chase and not Moti? Okay, so you are saying that Moti should be there, but I've explained to you already that, in my opinion, I believe that Cricket West Indies is just guiding Moti along because of the twice reoccurrence of the back injury that he had. He picked up after the second match against Zimbabwe earlier this year, the second test match. And they have brought him back in one match and the back injury reoccurred in that second test match against South Africa. So I think West Indies is treading very, very closely with Moti. What do you say, gentlemen? Have any comment on that? Good afternoon. Can we play O'Shane Thomas in the 50-20 and let India have it? What do you think, Diego? Should O'Shane Thomas comes in for the 50-20?
I would bring in Joseph.
You'd bring in Joseph. What do you say?
Do or die match, you got to bring in Joseph.
What do you say, Andre?
No, I mean Joseph have to play tomorrow. Once he's not carrying any niggle, Joseph will automatically play for Smith tomorrow, right?
So, yes. So what about Thomas then for Shepherd?
No, man, no.
McCoy. What about Thomas for McCoy?
No, I mean at this stage, playing Thomas for McCoy, I don't think where we benefit a great deal from that. You know, playing in the last match, you know, and I believe, you know, the fact that Thomas is one of the faster bowlers and he has not played all series, all ODI series, all T20 series, I think they're not quite confident in Thomas in probably the form that Thomas is in. So I'm thinking that Thomas will not play any at all.
He's probably shorter work. What you say, Diego?
Same Andres, but you can't bring him in now if he hasn't been playing. Or are you going to bring him in at the last match? That doesn't make sense.
Okay, Marisa Wilson, you think Kirk McKenzie should come in, but my view on all of these players like Kirk McKenzie, Atanase, Shafin, Rutherford, all of those names that have been called regularly, I keep saying the CPL start Wednesday. These guys have a chance starting Wednesday for the next 6 weeks to make a claim to be selected in the next West Indies T20 squad. So I'm looking forward to the start of the CPL. In fact, I'm looking forward to the CPL because all of these names that have been called will now have an opportunity to show us their class comes starting Wednesday. Diego, Bobby Bonds is saying that you are contradicting yourself. Bobby Bonds, do you want to probably say what in particular? How do you react to that though, Diego?
No, I have the same question. What is the contradiction?
Okay. The legend Bobby Bonds is from Fort Lauderdale, a big-time contributor to this program. Bobby Bonds, you want to say exactly what? So Ed Meyer is good in the field. He has been brilliant in the field. Yes.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Ed Meyer has been good in the field. That's so. But I think that in terms of his batting, is really short of work. And I think that's one of the reasons why you see that he has failed right through the series. Because you could see that he's really struggling. I don't think from Hitman coming from the IPL, I don't think he has practiced much or done much batting. And you could see that how rusty he was in the previous 3 T20 games, right? So Hitman needs to, I think he will get better the more he bats, right? But I still think that though he needs to work on his fitness because and that's probably one of the reasons why you see Hitman batting at number 6 and not batting at say number 5 or 4, you know. But I think if a fit Hetmeyer, the best position for Hetmeyer, I think, in his team is about a 3, right?
But Andre, Carlton, you guys talking about Hetmeyer, but all I want to support Cornwall, 400-pound man in a play cricket.
No, but it's a different version of the game, which is much slower. You understand? But that I will speak on a different day.
Okay.
Yeah, we spoke about that. But someone earlier was saying that we need to get Narayan in the squad, but Ray Howard is saying that Narayan won't play because he's concerned ICC will call him. They don't call bowlers in franchise cricket. And that's a general opinion out there that
Exactly.
Narayan doesn't have the confidence to play international cricket because he feared he will be called. Merrick Pandya, and I'm skipping. Some of your comments are passing, so if I do not take all of your comments, I apologize. Some of them just passing, and I won't be able to take all of them. Clearly, Pandya has out-taught us. Do you believe that Pandya in these last 2 matches, Diego, have out-taught the West Indies, have out-strategized the West Indies?
Well, it's hard for me to answer that, because I just see India as a much better team than us. So I always work with this, It's who you have on the field. Is Viv Richards a greater captain than Frank Warren because he had a perfect, almost a 90% record? So I just think they have a better team. I don't think it's an out strategy when it comes to 2020. I just think who's better on that day, who's better. It's not science, it's not mathematics, it's not a court of law.
Yeah, and I totally endorse your point, Diego. I mean, when you let's look at the bowling. The fact that India have world-class bowlers at their disposal, he's able to maneuver his bowlers far better than, say, Powell. Powell have very, 1 or 2 good bowlers, and the majority are very mediocre. So it will probably seem that he's out, he's out strategizing him, which is not the case. Once you have better players at your disposal, it is very easy. And I said, when in cricket, the captain is as good as his team. If you take Clive Lloyd to captain this team, you will get the same results, right? If Pandya was the captain of West Indies, you would have gotten the same result that Paul is getting. So it's just a matter of who you have at your disposal. It's as simple as that.
I was watching it, and one of the time it comes to me and saying that it appears that it's so easy for the Indians to hit a 6. It seems just more that difficult for the West Indians to hit a 6. That's what came to me one of the time. Bobby Bonds he's saying that he's saying for 100 times, Simit will not improve unless he start playing red ball cricket. But this one goes back to you, Diego. Christopher Bristol is asking you. He's saying the players only perform when the money is right. It is simple. West Indies is getting what they pay for. Anyhow, West Indies all the way. Stick by the team no matter what. So he's saying that West Indies is getting what they paid for.
Oh, no.
Do you agree?
No, I can't agree with that. Because as a professional, and this is where Andre is right. If you sign the contract and accept the money the person is offering, then you should be a professional. Simple. You made a commitment, so you need to put out your best and take up the professional responsibility.
And honestly, I want to give this team credit. I have seen a change in attitude in this team. I think this team is running out of between the wicket. I think they're doing much better in the field. I really saw a change in attitude in this field. It is just that they are not fit enough. Because I believe if we were fit enough, we'd have probably scored another 30 runs. I really think our fitness let us down in scoring another 30 runs. I also think our fitness caused us to give up about 15 runs in the field when players just could not cut to the ball fast enough, when players could not save boundaries. So really, I think a fit West Indies team would have probably pushed India much, much closer today.
That's why I'm saying, Carlton, the NFL is starting soon. These guys are getting $50 million a year. And all of them are like little boys. You see the preseason camp. They have to show up. It's part of the contract. I don't get it. So you have to blame Darren Sammy and the management of West Indies that they're paying these players and they're not making sure that they are fit. My son went to college. College shopping. It's just soccer. $200,000 tuition. He had to come 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the start to get fit, or else he's going to lose his scholarship. Okay. Why is it so hard to get these players to come into fitness? So the West Indies Cricket Board is doing something wrong then.
So Caris87 is saying that he saw footage of O'Shane Thomas, and O'Shane Thomas is nowhere in shape. Is this again another blunder on West Indies cricket? should West Indies have carried someone else if according to Caris 87, O'Shane is nowhere in shape? So why West Indies carried a bowler that is nowhere in shape? And I'm going off
Yeah,
Caris 87 statement. Why didn't we bring somebody like Jordan then?
or McAllister. I
Um,
agree with that statement. Why
well,
is it that you
But
take
hold on.
you took
How
up
you
Shane
know
Thomas
that
from
is fit though? How you know they are fit?
the thing about it, you took O'Shane Thomas from, I would say, obscurity, because O'Shane Thomas have not played for West Indies in the past probably 2 years, and we have not seen O'Shane Thomas. So on what basis did you take O'Shane Thomas? How can you take O'Shane Thomas for a series and not play him any at all? I don't get it. There's no logic in that. Why did you select him in the first place? Just to
okay.
be around the team? It
So
makes no
Jamaica,
sense.
Giovanni Reid is updating us that Jamaica under 17 won today. So after the double by the under 19 team, we won both the 3-day and the limited over. Our under 17 boys won again today. Now, Caris, so I'm now going to name my team for the match tomorrow. But just before I do that, I will just read Caris' comment. Our regional guys refuse to play first-class cricket to improve their skills. Jarswell and Gills collectively have more first-class 100 than our whole team combined. See Debray as a real criteria to make the team. What do you say about that? So it is basically saying that Jarswell and Gill have more first-class century than everyone else in the West Indies team, and that we really need to play more first-class cricket. What do you say?
Oh, definitely. We can't just know, Andre. You can't just play 5 cricket for the 5 big matches for the year, and then you need sports is about keep playing. You need at least another round.
So, gentlemen, this is my team for tomorrow. You can react to it. So I will be taking out Smith and McCoy, and I will be bringing in Chase and Alzara Joseph for tomorrow's match. What do you say? So King, Myers, Oak, Nicholas Poor, and Ravman Paul, Shimra Detmeyer. The top 6 remain the same. I may bat older ahead of Shepherd, Akil Hussein, Rastan Chase, and Alzara Joseph. That is my 11 for tomorrow. How do you react to that 11?
Yeah, I probably agree with you in the first, with you in that team, because McCoy has been a shadow of himself. We have not seen a sort of variety from McCoy that we have seen in previous series, right? And definitely Odin Smith, he should not play. So Azar should come in for him. And Raston Chase, as much as I'm not really a big fan of him, but what I like about Raston Chase is that he is far more consistent. He's one of the more consistent bowlers. So he will definitely give you 4 decent overs, right? And I expect the pitch tomorrow to play a little bit slower. So tomorrow, now, if I think that, depending on what, I think the pitch might be a bit slower than today. So the spinners might come more into the own come tomorrow. So I agree with playing 2 spinners for tomorrow.
Diego?
Well, I must got one question more, because I see you got a lollipop bowler there, Russell Chase, and he's not a T20 batsman. Why is he playing?
Because in the third match, he bowled his 4 overs for 28 runs. And that's several runs per over. And all our other bowlers, the 2 that I've left out, they are going for more than 7 runs and over. I made a comment on Thursday that at no time he looked threatening to get a wicket. But his 4 overs still went for 28 runs, which is 7 runs per over. And you will take that in T20 every day. That's why I'm having him in the team.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Carlton. As much as I'm not a fan of Raston Chase, because his batting has fallen off a great deal, but he's one of your more consistent bowlers. And if you look at his ODI record and T20 record in recent times, he has done pretty well with the ball, right?
Okay.
And
they are going to use the same pitch tomorrow, Diego. If West Indies win the toss again tomorrow, what would you suggest that they do?
If West Indies win the toss tomorrow,
right?
What would I suggest they do?
Yeah,
it's tough. Because I don't see it in T20. I don't see where it matters.
Oh, you doesn't see it matters.
Not in T20.
There's a
So
60%.
I'll work with you. I'll work with Andre. He's saying he knows the psychology of these players that they love to chase. Is that what you're saying, Andre? I don't follow. I can't follow every much to say that they do better chasing. Are you saying that the too much
No,
that they want?
no. What I'm saying is that I'm
Too
saying that
much
the batting is your stronger suit. So on more occasion than not, once is a good pitch for batting, I think you should probably chase, being that the batting is your stronger suit. But the thing about it is that for tomorrow's game,
Yeah.
if they play on the same pitch, I think the pitch might play a little bit slower. So I think it will be if they put up a good score, say 180, 190, the pitch might offer us a lot more to the spinners tomorrow if we bat first, if the pitch slows down. Right? So in tomorrow's case,
Mr. Spinner. You know, Mr. Spinner.
no, I mean it doesn't have to be Mr. Spinner now, but once Akil Hussein and Ruston Chase, if the pitch offers something, they can, be very effective then.
I think it was Earl Campbell said that Ruston Chase is right arm optimistic. I think it was Ben Campbell that said he's right arm optimistic.
But what the question I have, just remind me, the two matches that we won, did we chase or did we bat first?
Both. We bat first in the first and we chase in the second.
All
Right.
Yes. So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I look forward. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. We really like your expertise and your input into the game. And we thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. And remember, the two most important things in life is your relationship with your God and with your family. Have a great evening, everyone. And let us cheer on West Indies to win the 5th and final match. The victory will be sweet. All the best. Take care. One love.